Morning. I hope you know. I hope at least one person in here knows that God has a blessing for you this day. This day, God has a blessing for you, for each and every single one of us. And as we recognize that, and as we open up ourselves to receive that truth, then we indeed are opening up ourselves to receive our blessing. Our theme for this year, our theme for 2017 is very basic, very simple, not complex, but it's still very profound. And that theme is, with God, all things are possible. So what we want to do this year, we're starting off the year talking about it Sunday after Sunday, but what we really want to do, and sometimes we ask, well, what can I do to manifest my dreams? And I've been trying, and I don't know what to do. Well, one of the things that we can do is to personalize that simple statement, that short statement that we've all heard a million times, and we've said it a number of times in our lifetime, but have we really personalized it? And by that, I mean very simply, when you are going through something in life, affirm and declare that with God, this thing is possible. Did you get that? It's possible for me to overcome this thing. Why? Because I'm working with a presence and power that is beyond myself. It's possible for me to achieve this thing, whatever that thing may be in your life. Why? Because you're working with a presence and a power that is greater than you, greater than your intellect, and greater than all of your worldly possessions and all of your creature comforts. You are working with a presence and a power that truly can do all things. Last week, we kind of asked a question, and that question was bondage or liberty. We have to choose each day. We have to choose each minute. Are we going to be in bondage to the way things appear to be? Are we going to stay in bondage to our past? Are we going to stay in bondage to what people say? Are we going to stay in bondage to what seems rational, what seems realistic? We're going to stay in bondage to the negativity that may be around us? Or are we going to free ourselves? Or are we going to affirm and declare with God all things are possible? Are we going to affirm and declare and stand on the promises of God and stand on the teachings of Jesus and stand on the teachings that are throughout the Bible and affirm and declare that I am created in the image and likeness of God? See, part of it, let's kind of break it down a little bit. Part of it is our mindset. Part of it is the way we feel. You ever know anybody who's been in this situation and the situation is one way, but they feel something different? The situation says A, B, and C, but they feel something different. Well, what we're talking about now is our feeling. And part of that feeling is feeling connected and being consciously connected to that presence and that power. And when we are able to feel that conscious connection, then we realize, and John said it earlier, we realize that we are no longer victims to anything or anyone, but we are free. We have been freed and we have been released. So that's where the bondage or liberty comes in. Are you in bondage to the facts and the outer appearances? Or have you liberated yourself? Or have you raised your consciousness to the understanding that you don't have to live the type of life that maybe you've been living? You don't have to accept the limitations that you have perhaps accepted in the past. And John read earlier, Reverend John read earlier from today's daily word, and I hope each of you read and reread today's daily word, because what that is saying, the theme is health. In today's daily word, I'm sure all of you have it. If you don't have it, you can get it from the bookstore after service, to be sure. But the idea is, today's theme is on health. And if you read it, you see the declarations in today's reading are claiming, if you affirm them, then you are claiming health and wholeness for yourself, in spite of what may be going on, what you may be feeling in your physical body. We want to rise above those negative limitations, those negative feelings and thoughts, and we want to experience the truth of our being. It says, I reach within and touch God through prayer. I affirm the truth of my body's natural healing ability and envision the radiating light of God working in me now to establish the highest manifestation of my physical being. With God, your physical healing is possible. And that's what today's reading says. It says, I am renewed and revitalized from head to toe. When you affirm this, when you declare this, when you believe this, when you accept this, then you are liberating yourself physically, mind, body, and soul. You are liberating yourself from all pain, all discomfort, all dis-ease, and you are aligning yourself with the truth of your being. Even though the truth of your being may not be manifesting right now, there may be other things that are manifesting right now in your body. Perhaps, however, we are to lift our consciousness and look beyond that which appears to be, look beyond that which has existed in the past, and see good, see God. Today's lesson, this is part 3 of our series, It's Possible. Today's lesson is entitled, Take a Stand. Take a stand. So now last week we asked a question, bondage or liberty, and Emily Katie in her book, Lessons in Truth, states that question very directly and very definitively. Today we are saying, take a stand. It's not one or the other, but declare and affirm for yourself that this day you are taking a stand and you are making a commitment towards your good, towards your health, towards your healing, towards your overcoming, towards your happiness, towards your success, and towards your abundance. You are taking a stand today. And as you do that, then you indeed will be opening yourself up to receiving your good. See, part of the problem is that we get consumed by the negative. We get consumed by our finances, and we get consumed by our health, and we get consumed by the economy and our family situation, and we get consumed by the past. What things didn't happen, what things did happen that we wish hadn't happened, and now we're trying to deal with it today. We get consumed by those things. We get so consumed by what people say. Some people are still ruminating over what people have said and done to them 10 years ago. Hello. Okay. Years and years ago, they said it, did it. And you're still thinking about it, concerned about it, worried about it, being angry about it, and the person is going on about their business and life has changed, but you're still stuck in the past. I'm not going to say you're stuck on, but you're still stuck back there. The idea is to get unstuck, to take back your power. We started looking at Moses and Moses' journey towards self-realization, and Moses' journey towards leading the children of Israel out of bondage. Metaphysically, the children of Israel represent the true ideas about God that have to be expressed in every part of our consciousness. The true ideas about God, the truth about God, that needs to be and wants to be expressed in every aspect of our consciousness and every aspect of our being. Unfortunately, these ideas, the truth, are submerged in our mortal, human, limited thinking. So you got the truth, and then you got the illusions of the world. And you have all the things that the world tells you, all the limitations that the world puts on you and I and us and people in general. So the children of Israel are trying to get out of bondage, if you will. In the story in Exodus, in the Bible, it talks about the children of Israel having been in Egypt for 400 years. Metaphysically, we know that there's a metaphysical interpretation of many things in the Bible, people, places, and things in the Bible. Egypt represents darkness of ignorance. It represents mental bondage to mortal, limited, and human thoughts. Egypt represents mental bondage to the material consciousness. See, we've been taught that we can be happy if we're with this person or that person. We've been taught, well, you got to go to school and get a good education, and then you got to go out and get a good job, or maybe start a business, and that's where your fulfillment will come, and that's where your sustenance will come from, and the implication is, if you don't have a good education, well, then you're less than. The implication is that, well, if you're not in a loving relationship, well, then you're less than. The implication is that if you don't have a good job paying a whole lot of money, well, then you're less than. My friends, that's not the truth. But the human material consciousness looks at you and other people and judges people by those outer things. You judge people by the kind of car they drive and where they live and the type of job they have, whether they're working or not. And so we judge people by those outer things. When we do that, then we are living from an Egypt consciousness. Consciousness that looks at the outer things as being real and the outer things as being the only things that are real and eternal. And that's not true. And we experience in Egypt, again, we're talking metaphysically, not geographically or culturally, anything like that. Metaphysically, when we are experiencing in Egypt consciousness, when we are experiencing lack, when we think about and experience ill health and unhappiness and insecurity, we need to get out of that consciousness, that Egypt consciousness. Our God thoughts need to be released, need to be liberated from those limiting thoughts that the world puts on us, that we have put on ourselves. Some of these thoughts come from relying on those outer things, relying on other people to to make us happy and relying on a job to give us our sustenance and our income, as opposed to relying on the source, which is God, which is the vehicle, if you will, that will bring us whatever it is that we need to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be successful, and to live an abundant life. So the idea, once we are liberated, then we can see the truth. And the truth is that, nothing wrong with having a good job, but the job comes from God. And if something happens to the job, God will replace the job. God will replace the income. God will continue to bless you as you recognize and understand that with God, all things are possible. Did you get that?
Yes.
Even though there may be loss, and yes, in life there is loss. Yes, in life things happen. Yes, we're still trying to overcome things that may have happened to us years ago. But with God, it is possible to overcome. It is possible to recover. It is possible to indeed live a good life and a fulfilling life and a blessed life. So we have the children of Israel, and we have them in bondage, in consciousness, and relating to and looking at outer things as the source of their good, as opposed to looking to God as the source of their good. And then we have Moses, who metaphysically represents the truth that is in us, that will lead us out of bondage, will lead us out of Egypt. That consciousness within us that says that there is a better way, there is another way, that there is another life, a better life, a higher life for each of us to experience, that each of us can experience. And that Moses consciousness lets us know and tells us that we are not and should not be limited by our physical environment, should not be limited by things that are going on around us, and should not be limited by any of those outer things. Yes, they exist, yes, they are happening, but we do not have to let them rule us. In the book of Exodus, it tells the story. We're going to talk about part of the story briefly, but Moses' life was really broken down into three categories, three periods of 40 days or 40 years each. So in the first 40 years, Moses was in Egypt along with the children of Israel. And Moses was feeling okay for a while, but at a certain point he realized that something was wrong. He realized that, there was a lot of wealth around and so on, but he realized things were changing and things could change. And things did change. And in 2nd Exodus, beginning at verse 11, it says, many years later, when Moses had grown up, he went out to visit his own people, the Hebrews, the children of Israel, and he saw how hard they were forced to work. During his visit, he saw an Egyptian, limited negative thinking, sense consciousness, beating one of his fellow Hebrews. After looking in all directions to make sure no one was watching, Moses killed the Egyptian and hid the body in the sand. Moses did something definitive in this instance. Moses did something, he took a stand against that sense and mortal consciousness. He killed it, if you will. That's what his killing of the Egyptian in this story means. He killed it, he released it, he freed himself from that bondage. And we'll continue next week to the next phase of his life. But I heard something recently. A woman gave a very profound explanation. We talk about Egypt being a place of darkness and so on, and what she said was that yes, we do go through periods of darkness, and yes, we do go through trials and tribulations and challenges, and yes, there are times when we feel like all is lost, and we feel like we're almost encased in a tomb where we can't go anywhere, we can't do what we want to do. We feel like we are in a tomb. However, she said, instead of thinking of ourselves as being in a tomb, let us think of ourselves as being in a womb, which is also dark, but it is something that gives life. Yes, you may feel constricted, and yes, there may even be contractions at a certain point that are painful, but understand that at the end you will receive a new life experiences, that you know that you are being prepared for a better life, a greater life, a more blessed life, a more fulfilling life. So see yourself as, even though whatever it is you're going through, see yourself as being at the beginning of new opportunities, new blessings, and new and wonderful positive experiences. My friends, this is the truth, the whole truth, and it cannot be otherwise. God bless you.